Child contact centres play a key role in helping children affected by family breakdown maintain contact with a non-resident parent or other significant family member. Relationship Scotland supports a nationwide network of child contact centres that provides both supported and supervised child contact. A supervised child contact involves a trained supervisor who will observe and intervene if required. Referrals for supervised contact can come from a parent, from a solicitor, from social work or from the courts.
The court will make supervised contact orders in a number of different situations or scenarios. I think the most obvious example would be where there was a background of emotional abuse or sexual abuse or physical abuse.
Okay, Tom, it seems that your primary focus for this discussion, and the reason why you've instructed a lawyer, is because you've been suggested by your social worker that supervised contact may be appropriate.
Yeah.
Some social work departments will offer supervised contact services, generally only in cases where they're already heavily involved with the family concerned. The drawback of using social work services is that they're only available Monday to Friday and during office hours, whereas the Relationship Scotland centres are available on a weekend as well.
You haven't seen your daughter now for...
Over a year.
Over a year.
Over a year now.
Can you tell me what's her mum's attitude to contact at this stage?
I can't imagine it would be great. That's my main concern, really. We're not really on the best of terms, so I'm a bit worried that she's going to be the main reason why I don't get to see Lucy, really.
Okay, so we're expecting some resistance then from Lucy's mother.
Yeah, I would guess so, yeah.
Well, the test is whether or not contact is in the child's best interests.
Yeah.
And if we can establish it is in the child's best interest, then there shouldn't be any reason why you wouldn't have contact. What I would like to do first of all is I would like to write to Lucy's mother. It's a matter of courtesy, and the court does expect you to do that. And we can suggest in that letter that it be supervised contact in the first instance.
Yeah.
I think we do address the problems you've experienced and highlight the fact that you've made progress and that therefore you feel that contact is in your daughter's best interests. We would then allow Lucy's mother 2 weeks to respond to that.
Right.
Because she'll need that time to, for example, consult a lawyer and for that lawyer to respond to us.
Of course, yeah. What if she doesn't agree?
Okay, if she doesn't, then your only real option is to take the matter to court.
Okay.
And before we can take the matter to court, we would have to look at how we would fund a court action.
Yeah.
And that raises the issue of legal aid.
In a lot of cases like this, the parties will be in receipt of legal aid. If the sheriff directs that contact is to take place, the sheriff will also direct in the court order who's to be responsible for paying any fees incurred in connection with the contact.
Okay, and assuming we got that then.
Okay, once we have the legal aid in place, we could then raise a court action and we would request an interim hearing, which is a hearing right at the start of the action. And it's at that hearing we would ask the sheriff to grant an order in your favour. We would ask for supervised contact, and we would also indicate that we felt that was in the child's best interest.
Okay.
So you've gathered from that description that it could be a number of weeks before you get to the point where you're able to ask a sheriff to grant you interim contact.
So what, we're talking a good 1-2 months before I even get to see Lucy?
Yes, it could be as long as that.
Right.
Supervised contact orders can be particularly apt where there's a history of addiction issues. For instance, the non-resident parent might have a long history of misuse of drugs or of alcohol abuse. And in these circumstances, the resident parent needs a good deal of reassurance that nothing untoward is going to happen to the child in the context of contact. A supervised contact order can give support not only to the non-resident parent to make contact a worthwhile exercise, but to the child to feel that there is someone there protecting him or her.
There's an agreement form that both parents sign, and on that form we'll have information like when contact is going to take place, how long the contact is going to last for, who can be involved in the contact, and then there's a list of other things that both parents will have agreed to, and then they'll sign it, and that's what we work with as a supervisor.
When a decision is made to proceed with a contact, a pre-contact visit to the centre may be arranged. On the first day, the supervisor will separately run through with both parents exactly what will happen during the contact.
You've got 1 hour,
Yeah.
and just in terms of that hour, you've not seen her for a year. It's a long time for you.
It is.
My guess is you would like to have residential contact yesterday.
Yeah.
That's my guess.
Yeah.
As most people do. However, if we look at it from her perspective, she's not seen you for a long time. An hour for a child is quite a long time. If after half an hour, 40 minutes, she's saying, I want to go back to mum, then let her go.
Yeah.
This is a strange situation for you and for her. She's not seen you for a long time. She's feeling pretty nervous. You're feeling pretty nervous. I'm not going to be breathing down your neck or sitting on your shoulder, and I'm not going to be joining in the play. That's entirely up to you. There's loads of toys and resources in here. I'm just going to be sitting in the corner, unobtrusive, not getting involved.
The benefit of the supervised contact is that the member of staff will provide a report, if asked to do so, which gives the court details about how the contact visits have progressed and how the child has responded. The benefit there is that you have an experienced independent person watching what is going on at the contact, and they can offer an objective view.
As you know, I've got to write a report about what happens during the contact time.
Yeah.
It's in your best interest and Lucy's best interest that what I'm writing on the report is positive, and I've got absolutely no reason to think that what I'm writing in the report is going to be anything other than positive.
Right.
And before I take the children through to see Dad, I would make sure that everybody understands what's going to happen. My job today is to help this contact go as smoothly as possible for both of you. And what's going to happen, do you remember when you came the last time, we showed you the big playroom with the big teddy bear? Do you remember him?
With the tartan scarf.
That's the one, the big brown one. Well, we're going to go into that room, and that's the room where your dad's going to be. And you and I are going to be in that room for about an hour. Sometimes mums are a bit concerned that they may have to meet with Dad, and I will be reassuring them that that doesn't need to happen if they don't want it to happen.
I mean, I don't have to see Tom, do I?
No, not at all. Not at all.
Because I don't think that would be good for either of us, actually.
When Tom comes, he will be shown straight into the playroom, and we will ensure that you're in this room. The door will be kept shut, and when contact is finished, Lucille will be brought back into the room again, so you two don't have to meet. I would also be making sure that they understand the length of time that the contact was going to happen, and that the child or children can see mum at any time during that contact. If you want to come back and see your mum, you just need to tell me, and we can pop back along and see your mum at any time. Okay?
Is that okay, Lucy?
Yes, Mum.
Does that seem fine?
Okay, sweetheart.
Bye, Mummy.
Okay.
We'll see you soon. Okay.
Let's go.
Hiya, Lucy.
Hi.
Hug?
This is my dolly, Sophie.
Is it? Hiya, Sophie. You see the board there? You want to do some spelling? See if you can spell your name there. There we go. I'll hang that up for you on the chair. There we go. What about favourite colour? How is everything, Lucy? Okay? You still at the same school? Path, I'm sorry about that. I didn't mean it. It wasn't meant that way.
Children get very, very uncomfortable if dads start to ask them questions that aren't really anything to do with the contact. If there's a lot of dialogue that I don't approve of, I would make sure that the dad knew that what he was saying and what he was doing wasn't really acceptable.
What about my name? Can you spell Tom on there? There's a T, yeah. So do you an O? Well done. That's you and me both on there now. Forever. No one's allowed to touch that now. That's us. That's ours now. Is it not Mr. Teddy? Mr. Teddy the dolly.
I think it was Mr. Tom. And see this one?
Yeah.
She's called Eleanor.
Eleanor?
Lucy, do you want to get your jacket on now and I'll go and get Shirley to take you back to Mum? Because that's your time up with Dad.
Okay.
Tom, if you just want to stay here while I take Lucy, or Shirley takes Lucy back,
Yeah.
and I'll come back and just have a wee chat with you.
Okay. Let's get your jacket on, Lucy. There we go.
Shirley, yes? Can you do me a
You
favour
want it?
and come and take
Right,
Lucy back?
I'll see you next time, yeah?
Of course I can.
Bye, Dad.
See you later.
You okay, Lucy?
Okay, right, Lucy. Is that you finished now?
At the end of a contact, care is taken to ensure that parents leave the centre at different times.
Okay, Lucy. In we go. Here's
Lucy,
Mum.
how did it go?
I went okay.
You happy?
Yes.
She appeared to have a good time.
Okay.
Yes.
Are you wanting to go home now?
Yes.
Okay, let's go.
Okay, let's go. You did very well, Lucy.
Good. Good. I think it was nice to see her. I know I kind of mucked up in the middle there. I didn't mean to ask about her school, about where she was. It made her uncomfortable. I didn't like it. I'm sorry.
A supervisor's training enables them to recognise when there's examples of inappropriate behaviour or language being used, and they will intervene in the contact if required. In a small number of cases, a contact will not be allowed to go ahead due to concerns over safety or child protection issues.
I think it's very important throughout the court process that the child's voice is heard. And the child's voice can be heard in a number of different ways. For instance, when an action first gets going, the child is given the opportunity, if the child is of sufficient age and maturity, to return what's called the Form F9. On the Form F9, the child can indicate whether he or she wishes to speak to the sheriff direct, whether he or she wants her or his views communicated to the sheriff via a teacher, or by a family member, or by a close friend, or perhaps the leader of a brownie pack, something like that.
The F9 is completed by the child and it's returned directly to the court, so the solicitors involved in the case may never see what's in the Form F9. The sheriff would deal with that.
So the court can obtain information at an early stage from the child in the form of an F9. But in my experience, it's unlikely that what the child says in the Form F9 is going to be of itself enough for the court to decide what order to make in the interests of the child.
1, 2, 3.
Each case is likely to have a series of child welfare hearings, and at these child welfare hearings the court will want to be updated on how the child is responding to a contact order, and the court will want to know whether the contact order should be varied in any respect in order to meet the continuing interests of the child.
That's the choo-choo man.
The choo-choo man.
Nah, that's the dad.
That's the dad. Okay.
Actually, I think the dad should be sitting on the settee,
Downstairs, of course.
playing. And Mum is sleeping.
Mum is sleeping. We need to find something to use as a pillow for Mum, really, don't we?
That should be there.
That should be there. Mum's downstairs having
I
a
don't
bath.
think we should be having a bath right beside the window.
No, maybe not.
Sometimes supervised contact orders can be modified and become supported contact orders, particularly where, for instance, there has been long-standing antagonism between the parents and it's taken time for trust to be rebuilt. And if the non-resident parent can demonstrate over a period of time that he or she can be relied upon to adopt a mature and responsible attitude towards contact, then the court might feel confident that the supervisory element is no longer required, but that some support at contact is still appropriate.